One good thing is that we're always developing recipes. So one thing I like about brewing is coming up with new recipes, and I think a lot of people are sort of getting stuck doing similar beers and they get sick of that that grind of just pumping out the same thing. So we like to sort of brew different beers all the time. I think we've done around 100 batches and maybe 60 different beers or something like that. What I don't like about brewing is when you have problems with pumps and heating elements and all sorts of things that can just, ruin an entire brew day basically. So there's always challenges and things that go wrong and that are very frustrating. It's easy to cope with frustrations and problems if there's people to bounce ideas off and sort of help out. But Lachlan has now come and joined the team here in Norway. He's here a lot, also learning how to brew, so that's a big help. So we basically have a 3-vessel Blickman system with electric heating elements. We're using 2 different types of fermenters. We're using a plastic spidal fermenter, which we either use to bottle condition and bottle the beer from. We bottle by hand and then we naturally carbonate the beer in the bottle. We can also have the ability to transfer the beer into a Sankey keg, which is basically a 50-60 litre keg that we use as a bright tank, and we put the beer on carbonation and we're able to fill kegs from these Sankey kegs. We also have a conical where we're able to pressurise the beer and carbonate within the vessel, and we can counter pressure fill bottles by hand or kegs from the conical. We're capping by hand. We have a small manual labelling machine. So basically from brewing to packaging, everything is very sort of labour intensive and sort of hand done. It's around 90 litres of finished wort that we get from a batch, so it's quite a small system.
But yeah, having 90 litres is a bit of a gift and a curse, I suppose. You have a lot of room to play with, but you're only making 90 litres at once. We do the same amount of work, but our yield is 85 to 90 litres, whereas other breweries spend 10 hours in the brewery and get 500 or 1,000 litres. So yeah, but I like that we can create what we feel like, which is pretty cool.
It's typically around a 7-hour brew day from sort of start to finish. So it's quite time consuming for such a small batch, but it's sort of what we're dealing with at the moment.
We're coming across this kind of need to expand, and we know where is the brewery kind of heading, and how are we going to expand appropriately. We try to work with local people and use local ingredients and brew locally and distribute locally. That's the kind of business model we're following. With things like contract brewing, we can collaborate with other craft breweries.
So we get some beers contract brewed just because of our small scale. We want to get a larger batch of something. We're always very closely involved with the contract beers. We're at the brewery on brew day, helping with bottling and packaging and that sort of thing. Well, I'm at the brewery around 80 hours a month and full-time at Brewdog. So we're sort of working a lot of hours basically to keep things running. It's sort of dependent on when I'm working. If I'm brewing in the morning, sometimes my wife comes in to put the HLT on so that I can sleep for another hour before I come into the brewery and the water's then ready for mashing. Once the water's heated up, you're quite busy the entire time. You have to measure out all your ingredients, hops and that sort of thing, paperwork to be done. Then there's always labelling to do while you're waiting for the mash to finish. You've got your vessel, your conical or your fermenters to clean and sanitize and prep for the fermentation.
Cleaning is the main thing, I think, that comes through in all of that. Everything has to be super clean. So it's just scrub it again, because we do a lot of transferring, so there is a lot of room for germs. But you just have to be really hygienic and just make sure everything's sanitized we haven't had any problems yet. Not saying that we will, but we haven't had any. So obviously, so far our hygiene's pretty good. So yeah, we just be clean.
We haven't really had a set goal. This is our first year of brewing, and we're also buying in fermenters all the time. So our capacity size is constantly raising. We're going to buy some more conical fermenters and up our capacity. So we'd like to be doing around 30,000 litres a year, basically. And right now we're probably doing around 12 to 15,000. Once we got 4 or 5, 6 fermenters, we decided we had to name them just so that the brew sheets would stay with the fermenter. So a friend of mine was here and I said, we need to name the fermenters. Do you want to choose the names? So he named a couple of them penis reference names, basically. So all our fermenters have a penis reference for some reason. So we decided to keep the theme going. So now we have 7 fermenters with different penis references.